We have finally received the next of the Ninjago Legacy 2026 sets, and this time round it is the Lloyd Titan Mech. And I've definitely been very curious about this set in the build up to actually getting it, because initially speaking I really didn't know how I overly felt about it, but now actually having it in hand, has my mind changed at all? Well, that's what we're going to be finding out today as I review the set. Starting off, of course, with the box. I really do like the art, and I really like the aesthetic that Legacy actually does go with. It's nice, it's simple, it's to the point, and it definitely does demonstrate what the Titan Mech actually is. Honestly though, I was expecting the box to weirdly be bigger. It's actually smaller in person than I realized. The back of the box doesn't give us much more, we just get another position for the Titan Mech. I honestly like it for what it is, I don't have much more to say about it. It does show the Master of Ice as well as the collectible for the set, but more on him later. But honestly, it's a good box. If you like boxes and you keep boxes for collection's sake like me, I definitely think this will be a good one for you, because I definitely like it a lot. To quickly show off the instructions as well, I will say that we don't get much in the way of the Legacy stuff. Like the other sets, we get a lot of stuff in regards to references and all of that. This one, we mainly just get to see shots of the Titan Mech from Season 11, and we get to see how it's the 5th of the Titan Mechs. Not bad, just not really good and not really interesting. Honestly, in terms of the instruction manuals, the Legacy ones have been quite good, it's just this one's just a little more boring. But let's actually now get onto the mech itself. I have to say, this thing is absolutely amazing. This thing is huge and it's solid, it's dense. I really like how it feels in your hand. The build on this thing is just really well done. From every single angle, it's just really nicely done and detailed. The thing has so many little bits and pieces that add to the details of the mech itself, and it really feels like there is no expense spared. A very common problem you get with a lot of different Ninjago mechs is that from the back it just doesn't look overly appealing. It doesn't have much of an aesthetic from any other angle apart from the front. But with this one, it feels like they did take it into account. Of course, there are things that don't look too good, but in the grand scheme of things, it really does feel like they did a lot better with every angle of this mech in comparison to others. And there's also just a lot of different options in terms of actually posing the mech itself. There are a lot of little bits and pieces on here that just articulate. There's loads of panels that you can flip, a lot of things you can just move around, just to really create effect that you do actually want to have for yourself. Honestly, it's your own world oyster if you do want to pose it in however you like. I'm just shocked by how good and how poseable this thing truly does feel. In comparison, the other Titan mech that I have reviewed, which is the Cole one, that one is still absolutely fantastic, but that one at time honestly does feel just a little bit flimsy, or just doesn't feel overly good to actually mess with. At times, it just works better as a posing piece, but this one feels like it's actually designed to play with. This one actually feels like you should mess around with it, you should actually use it as an actual Lego playset, and I really like that. I think it definitely does accomplish what it needs to do. Not only is it great with the pose and its look, it also does nail its color palette as well. It takes on a few colors in particular, being white, green and gold, with a little bit of a splash of red. I really like how they utilize all of the colors. Each color has their time to shine, and each of it doesn't feel misplaced. It doesn't feel like they really spared out and really had something that felt like an anomaly here. It feels cohesive, and it feels like the design was actually thoroughly thought through, and I really do appreciate that. Just in terms of the mech itself, it just works. I don't know what more I could really say about it. It just functions exactly as I want it to. I feel like there is just basically no issue whatsoever. I've been messing with this thing for a few days now, and I just haven't felt any sort of problem with it. There's no issue in regards to breakage, there's no issue in regards of lacking of posability. It really does just function as a mech, and definitely does accomplish exactly what I want when it does come to a set like this. But of course though, what actually is a mech without its weapons? And this thing does actually come with a fair few of them. The main one that it actually does come with is a blade. I really do like this sword. The only thing I will say about it is that I wish it was just a tad little bit bigger, but that's just a complete nitpick. This thing just looks absolutely fantastic in hand, and it really does work and definitely does add to the amplification of the pose itself. It really does feel complete with the sword in hand, and I definitely do like it for that exact reason. I don't really have too much more that I really could say in the way of bad about it, purely just because of how good this thing truly does feel. He also does come with a shield, and I will say I do really like the addition of the shield, but not at the consequence of the wings. I really like the bulkiness that the wings do add to the mech, and I definitely, in personal display, don't have it with the shield in hand. But the shield does look fantastic. I think it does work really well for the mech. Of course, it's a new addition, and we don't see the Season 11 mech actually use this, but the thing is that it's just a nice addition. I've always said, if you want to make something better, give it a sword, and if it's already got a sword, give it a shield. But again, I do understand why people really like this as the main accessory for the mech, and it definitely does work as the accessory. I think it does just bode really well. Just personally for me, I think the wings are just a much better accessory on an overall. It's just got that flair to it, and I definitely do appreciate it for that reason. But again, it's really nice, it looks fantastic, and it definitely does have the size to match what I would expect from a shield. The last weapon that it does come with are these little underarm daggers that are also a part of the wings on the back. I will say they're decent for what they are, but they're just not overly special. I will never really consider them as an accessory beyond this point. They're just a part of the wings to me. Although I do understand why people would like it. It's much more of a subtle little weapon, and I definitely can appreciate it for that reason. It's just beyond that, I just haven't really thought too much about them. They just don't really matter to me apart from that. But yeah, those are also an option if you do want them. But just as a complete package, this mech works. It really does tick all of the boxes from a mech set for me. It feels like everything was focused on when it does come to the mech, and I really do like it for that reason. So as a build, it definitely does work in my opinion, and I really don't have any notes about the mech. Which feels like a first. It feels like there is always some sort of compromise on these sets, but it really does feel like they put all of their attention into this one piece specifically. And I definitely really like that, and I definitely do think the set works because of it. There's no side build basically to water down the mech itself, and I just really appreciate that. And honestly, for that reason alone, the set is absolutely fantastic. But now, let's move on to the minifigures and my actual issue with the set. The first minifigure I'm going to touch on is Lloyd. We're just getting the Legacy ZX Lloyd in this set again. There is nothing different about this minifigure from what I've talked about before. It's a fantastic rendition and a nice update of the Legacy Lloyd DX design. But the thing is that there's just not really too much more to really say about it. It looks great. It would have been cool if we had an option for the gunmetal grey, but I really do like this minifigure for what it is. Yes, it would have been cool to have some different variation of Lloyd in this set, but I understand why they didn't do it, and if it did compromise the mech, I understand why they wouldn't have done it. I will say though, is that my opinion might look a little different in a minute, but for the most part, I really do appreciate this Lloyd design. I really do like what they did with it, and I definitely can't fault it at all. So, for that reason, the Lloyd is a decent add-on to the set. But now onto the minifigures that also come with this set that are definitely a lot more desirable and or exclusive. The thing is that we're going to start with Grimfax. This minifigure is absolutely amazing. Having another Ice Chapter Season 11 minifigure in the collection is amazing, and the fact that it's utilizing the same pieces we got back then, I think just only adds on to it. I really like the design and all of the choices they did when it did come to the minifigure. He just blends in absolutely perfectly with any of the other Blizzard Samurai and or Ice Emperor that you do have. It just kind of works for what it is. I really appreciate the design and all of the colors, and I definitely don't think it's a minifigure that you should skip out on. It's a dual-sided head as well. One come with an angry expression and one also come with a smiling expression. Definitely is nice to have stuff like this, and definitely is a welcomed addition, especially when it does come to Ninjago where dual molded heads are the norm. So to make sure that we actually did get one for a character like Grimfax is definitely a massive bonus and definitely does add to it. And its accessory only just completes the look. I really like this axe. I definitely think it fits, and it's pretty good and on point with the one that he actually has in the show. It just works by all accounts, and I definitely think this is one of the best parts of the set itself. Finally having this minifigure is absolutely great, and it definitely feels like you could complete your Season 11 Resistance. Or can you? Because that is the biggest thing when it does come to this set for me. Getting a Grimfax is fantastic, but I really do think the only thing this set was missing is Kataru. I think Kataru would have been a massive addition and definitely a big bonus to the set, and you could have had the full Season 11 Resistance. But unfortunately, they just never did it. I understand why budgeting and they wanted to focus on the mech, but I definitely do feel like that's what this set was missing. But unfortunately, we just never got that to be. But I'm not mad at the selection we got, and I definitely do love this minifigure of Grimfax itself. But that's all I've got to say about him. Let's move on to the collectible. And that is of course the Master of Ice, or Hibernus. This is the collectible, and of course meant to go with all the other ones that we have gotten over the course of the last few sets. I really like this minifigure, and to finally have it in minifigure form is absolutely amazing. I love the design and the details, and it definitely does look one for one with what we got in the show. He has the stand that all of the other Elemental Masters have as well, and I really do like that. Of course, he gets to blend in very nicely, but this one does just feel great. I love the colors, I love the flow of the design. It's simple, but it's to the point. And of course, having a dual-sided head as well is definitely a benefit. The smiley face and the angry face are a lovely touch, and I can't help but adore the look. I said about the addition of his collectible piece to go with the rest, and that obviously works because putting him next to all the rest, he does look amazing. And just generally speaking, it's just a fantastic looking lineup of minifigures. These collectibles are definitely some of the best we've had in a very long time, and honestly, I want to do a video about them separately because I just really appreciate what these is, and I definitely want to give them more love. But honestly, Hibernus is a definite need if you are looking to complete the set because he just blends in so well. And of course, like always, he does come with his accessory, which is the elemental ice piece. I really like this, and it's definitely a nice addition, and definitely does just make him feel complete. There's not much really to say about it beyond that, I just really like it. But honestly, Hibernus is a fantastic minifigure. I'm glad that we finally got it in hand, and I'm definitely excited to finally finish off these elemental masters. But this one is definitely a must-have, and definitely did round off a fantastic set. And I do think that's what I want to leave this off on. I do think that is my ending note when it does come to the Lloyd Legacy Titan Mech. It is a very good set and definitely does succeed in every way that I do want it for. Like I said, my only problem is the lack of a Kataru, and that is just an ultimate nitpick, and I can definitely live without it. But the thing is that apart from that, I just adore this thing to bits. But is it worth the price? Because this thing is £120, and that is definitely a very tall asking price when it does come to a set. But personally speaking, if you do like the look of the set and you can afford it, I think this is a must-have. I think this is a fantastic Legacy set, and it does everything I want in a Legacy Titan mech, or just a mech in general really. I just think it ticks every single box and it does it extremely well. So for that reason, if you are looking to pick this thing up and you're interested in it, I would definitely say do it. If you can get it on deal, even better. But personally for me, I do think this is worth the price tag because this set is absolutely fantastic, and it definitely does add on to my love for Legacy 2026. But what do you think of the Legacy Lloyd Titan Mech? Is it a set that you like or dislike? Are there things that you wish were better? Or do you think the set is perfect? And more importantly, are you picking it up? I would love to know what you guys think, because this set has definitely taken my eye and might be my favourite set of the year. But honestly, who knows? The X1 is definitely not going to take its place though. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people. And if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you can become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Thank you to each and every single one of you. You are all legends, and your support means the absolute world to me. But like I said, that is about it for today, and take care. Okay,